The cold wind blew across the broken lands. Buildings stood like skeletons. Smoke floated in the air. The world had changed. Long ago, it was full of life. Now it was quiet. Too quiet. A woman walked through the ruins, holding a small child in her arms. Her clothes were torn. Her feet were bare. Her face was thin and tired, but her eyes were still strong. Behind her weakness there was fire. The child, around 6 years old, clung to her mother. Her lips were dry. Her stomach made small noises. She hadn't eaten for 2 days. They reached a metal door in the ground, half hidden by rocks and plants. It looked old, dead, but the woman knew better. She had heard stories. They said a man lived here, alone, dangerous, a soldier from the old war. Some said he was crazy. Some said he killed aliens with his bare hands. Others said he helped people only. Once the woman took a deep breath and knocked. Once, twice, then waited. Nothing. She knocked again. This time louder. Her hands shook, but not from fear, from hunger. Then the door hissed. Slowly, it opened. A voice came from inside, calm, deep. Come down, slowly. The woman picked up the child and stepped into the darkness. Inside, the bunker was clean, warm. Lights glowed on the walls. Machines hummed softly. The man stood there, tall, strong. He wore black clothes, old military gear. His face had scars. His eyes were like steel. He said nothing at first, just looked at them. The woman stepped forward and placed the child on a small bench. Then she stood straight and faced him. "I have nothing to give," she said. Her voice was dry but firm. "No money, no food, just myself." The man watched her. "Just one night with me," she said, her voice shaking now. "In return, feed my daughter." There was silence. The child looked around, too tired to speak. Her eyes fell on a small table with a glass of water and some bread. Her lips moved, but no sound came. The man finally spoke. "No." The woman's heart sank. Her knees almost gave out. But then he walked past her and knelt beside the child. He handed her the bread. The child looked at her mother. The woman nodded slowly. The child ate like she hadn't eaten in weeks. The man gave her water too. Then he looked at the woman. "You don't need to sell yourself," he said. "You both can stay." She stared at him, confused. "Why?" she asked. He didn't answer. He turned away and walked to another room. Time passed. The child fell asleep on a soft bed. The woman sat near her, watching, still unsure if all this was real. She had seen too much darkness to trust the light. Later, the man returned with clean clothes and 2 bowls of soup. She accepted them, quietly. She didn't ask more questions. As the child slept, the woman ate slowly, still watching him. "You don't talk much," she said. "I talk when needed," he replied. "Who are you?" He didn't look up from his tools. "Just a man who got tired of fighting." "Were you a soldier?" "Yes." "Did you fight the aliens?" "Yes." "Did you lose someone?" He was silent for a long time. "Yes," he said at last. Then, from behind a steel door, a soft light flickered. A strange hum came from inside. The woman glanced toward it. "What's that?" "Old tech," he replied. "From the war. Still works?" He looked at her now, his eyes unreadable. "Some of it." Later that night, as the woman lay beside her daughter, she whispered, "He's not like others." She didn't finish the sentence, but in the next room, the man sat alone, staring at a glowing orb. Inside it, alien symbols moved. A map. A signal. Something was coming. He pressed a button. A red light blinked. "Location detected," the orb said in a strange robotic voice. "Warning, enemy probes active." The man closed his eyes for a moment, then whispered to himself, "They found me." The next morning, the woman woke before her daughter. For a moment, she forgot where she was. There was no wind, no cold. Only soft lights and silence. She looked around the small bunker room, a real bed, clean sheets, a door that actually locked, and then she remembered the man. She stepped out quietly, her bare feet touching the warm floor. She found him in the next room, already awake, working with strange tools. He didn't look up. "Good morning," she said, unsure if she should speak. He nodded but said nothing. She looked at the wall near him. It had faded pictures of people in uniforms, smiling. One photo had the man with a young girl, her age, maybe 10. She looked a little like the child sleeping in the other room. "Your daughter?" the woman asked. He paused for a second, then whispered, "Was." No more words followed. Later that day, the man showed them around the bunker. It was bigger than it looked from outside. There were storage rooms, water tanks, a garden under lights, even books. "Why are you helping?" "U.S.?" the woman asked again. The man kept walking. Then he stopped and pointed to a rule written on the wall in bold red paint. "We don't become them," he said. "Aliens destroyed the world. We don't destroy what's left of us." The little girl, now fed and rested, became curious. She followed the man everywhere. She wasn't afraid of him like most people would be. "Why does your arm make that clicking noise?" she asked one day. The man smiled slightly. "Old injury. Do you have any robots?" "No, but I have machines. Can I see?" He looked at the mother. She nodded slowly. So he took the child to the farthest room in the bunker. It had machines covered in dust. One machine glowed faintly. It pulsed like a heartbeat. "What's that?" the girl whispered. "It listens," he said. "To what?" "Danger." She stepped closer. Her hand touched a button. "No, too late." The room lit up with blue light. A hologram appeared in the air. It showed the man in a battle. He moved like lightning, faster than human. Aliens screamed. He fought them alone. His eyes were glowing white. His voice roared like a storm. The woman rushed in, pulling her daughter back. "What is this?" she asked, shaken. The man shut the machine down. "I was part of a project," he said quietly. "We were supposed to be the last shield of humanity." "You're not just a soldier," the woman said. "You're something else." "I didn't ask for it," he said. "I didn't enjoy it. But I did what I had to do." That night, after the child slept again, the woman sat near him. "I don't know if I should trust you," she said. He nodded. "You shouldn't. Why are you alone?" "Because people were afraid of what I became. But you saved us." "For..." Now she looked into his tired eyes. "You don't talk much," she said again. "I listen more," he replied. They sat in silence for a while. Then he stood and walked to the metal door. He opened a small hatch. The sky was dark. He looked up. His face changed. "Something's wrong." He closed the hatch and walked quickly to the machine room. Lights flashed red. The woman followed. "What is it?" "They've sent a probe. It's scanning this area. That's how they find survivors." The woman's eyes widened. "You mean they're coming?" "Maybe not yet, but soon." The next morning, the girl found the man outside, digging. "What are you doing?" she asked. "Building a new wall." "Why?" "To protect people I care about." The girl tilted her head. "You care about us?" The man looked at her. He didn't smile, but he nodded once. She smiled, then helped him carry a rock. Inside the bunker, the glowing orb blinked again. Energy signature detected. Location marked. Countdown initiated. The man closed the panel. "They're coming," he whispered. Then he looked at the two sleeping figures across the room, and for the first time in years, he felt something old stirring in his chest. Not fear, not anger. Hope. The rain came without warning. It hit the roof of the old bunker like a warning. Drum. Loud. Fast. Angry. The woman stood near the sealed door, watching the small screen that showed the world outside. black sky, lightning, red clouds. She had seen many strange storms since the aliens came, but this one felt different. Inside the bunker, the lights flickered once, then steadied. She walked to the main room where the man sat at his desk. His eyes were on a small monitor. Lines of strange symbols scrolled down. Alien language. Is it the storm? She asked. He didn't look at her. No, it's a scan. A scan? They're searching. They're close. She felt a chill in her spine. The girl was drawing on the floor with chalk. She had made a big circle and tiny stick figures inside. This is us, she said happily. And this is the monster we beat. The woman smiled weakly. The man turned off the monitor and stood up. It's time we talk, he said. The woman stood still. She had known this moment was coming. They're hunting people like me, he said. Old soldiers, resistance leaders, anyone who knows how to fight. Why now? She asked. Because something is changing. They don't just want control anymore. They want silence. Total silence. He opened a drawer and placed a small device on the table. It looked like a metal egg. Tracker jammer, he said. Old tech. Won't last forever. Then he looked straight at her. You should leave. Take the girl. Run. She stared at him. Run to where? There's nothing out there. He didn't reply. She stepped closer. We're not leaving. You gave us safety. We're not throwing it away. That night, the girl couldn't sleep. She walked quietly through the hallway and found the man in the dark, sitting on the floor. What are you doing? She asked. Listening, he said. To what? Noise in the sky. She sat beside him. For a moment, they were both quiet. Are you scared? She asked. Yes. You don't look scared. Being scared and showing it are not the same. She leaned her head on his arm. My mom says you're not normal, are you? He looked at her. I used to be. Do you miss it? Yes, every day. She nodded. I like you the way you are. He said nothing but something in. His face softened. The next morning, a shadow crossed the sky. Not a bird. Not a plane. The man rushed to the surface screen. It showed a black sphere floating above the trees. Silent. Watching. Did it see us? The woman asked. Maybe, maybe not, but it will return. He ran to the back room and opened a metal box. Inside were weapons, old, rusted but deadly. He threw her a small pistol. Do you know how to use it? She caught it, checked it, loaded it. Yes. He was impressed but didn't show it. Then stay close. The probe came back at night. This time, it wasn't alone. 3 shadows moved behind it. Tall, thin, not human. Eyes like fireflies, skin like burned metal. The man watched through the camera. His jaw tightened. Infiltrators, he said. Not scouts, killers. The woman stood beside him. What do we do? He pressed a button. The bunker lights turned red. We prepare. The girl was quiet now. She sat with her small toy in her lap, staring at the metal walls. The woman kneeled in front of her. Whatever happens, stay hidden. Don't come out until I say. But I want to help, the girl said. You help by living. Her mother replied. The man stood near the entrance, gun in hand. His back was straight. His eyes locked on the screen. Then, a strange voice echoed through the speakers. It wasn't human. Unit 7, the human biosignatures detected. 1 enhanced, 1 adult female. 1 minor, surrender and be processed. Resistance is wasteful. The man didn't flinch. He pressed a button. The speaker replied, This isn't surrender. It's a promise. Then he whispered to himself, They're coming, but so am I. The bunker was no longer silent. It breathed like a living thing. Lights turned red. Doors clicked shut. Guns charged. Walls trembled softly under the hum of defense systems that hadn't been used in years. The man stood still, staring at the screen. 3 alien infiltrators, 1 probe. All watching. waiting. They're studying us, he said. The woman stood behind him, gripping the pistol tight. Why don't they attack? They're not in a hurry. They think we're weak. He walked to the weapons rack and placed a rifle on the table, then a grenade, then another, but they're wrong. The girl sat in a hidden room deep inside the bunker. A small screen showed her mother's face. You remember the rules? Her mother asked gently. The girl nodded. Double quotes, stay quiet. Don't open the door unless you hear this code. She whispered something into the mic. The girl repeated it perfectly. Her mother smiled, even though her eyes were full of fear. I love you, she said. I know, the girl whispered back. The man and the woman stood at the bunker's entrance. Do you trust me? He asked. The woman paused, then nodded. He handed her a small device. This will lock the room your daughter is in. Even I can't open it once it's sealed. Then how? Only she can open it when it's safe. She understood what he meant. He didn't plan on living through the night. She didn't like that. Outside, the aliens began to move, silent, fast. Their bodies shimmered, almost invisible to the human eye. But the man had seen them before. I fought these things on broken planets, he said, but never with someone to protect. The attack came suddenly. The ground shook as the probe fired its first pulse. It hit the bunker wall but didn't break it. Inside, lights flickered. They're testing our shield, the man said. One alien appeared near the vent. The woman fired, missed. The man moved like lightning shot twice, clean and fast. The alien dropped, smoking. The woman stared at him. You're faster than them. For now. Suddenly gas filled the hallway. The woman coughed. The man threw her a mask. Fall back to the second room, he ordered. They ran. An alien dropped from the ceiling behind them. The woman turned, fired 3 shots. 1 missed, 2 hit. The alien screamed and crashed into the wall. She looked at the gun in her hand, then at her shaking fingers. The man touched her shoulder. You just saved both of us. They reached the control room. The screens flickered. One showed the probe charging a larger blast. It'll destroy this place, she said. Unless we destroy it first, he replied. He reached into a drawer and pulled out something she hadn't seen before. A metal vest with glowing wires and a small red button on the front. Her face changed. No. Yes, you said we'd stay together. I lied. She stepped in front of him. You don't get to leave her. You gave her hope. You gave me hope. That means you fight to live, not die. He looked at her, not with steel eyes, but tired ones, human ones. For the first time he was quiet. Then the alarm screamed louder than before. The probe was descending. The final phase had begun. The man handed her the vest. Then help me do this smart, he said. She took it. They worked together, her fingers steady now. She wasn't just a survivor anymore. She was a fighter, outside. The ground exploded. Smoke. Fire. The probe's lights blinked wildly. The infiltrators moved again, silent shadows of death. Open the hatch. Ready? He asked. The woman smiled. No, but I'm going anyway. They ran into the storm together. Inside the sealed room, the girl pressed her ear to the wall. She couldn't hear the fighting, only her heartbeat, and her mother's voice in her head. Stay alive. That's how you help. Ashes floated in the air like snow. The bunker was still standing, but barely. Smoke leaked through the vents. Sparks fell from the ceiling. A wall near the entrance was cracked, bleeding light from the outside. The probe was gone. Blown apart. So were the aliens, but not without cost. He lay on the floor, unmoving. Half his armor was melted. His left arm sparked where metal met bone. The woman crawled over to him, bleeding from her side. Her hands shook, but she reached out and touched his neck, still warm. Still breathing, but barely. She grabbed the emergency kit and worked fast. Number. Time to think. No time to cry. You don't get to leave yet, she whispered deep inside the bunker. The little girl still sat in the sealed room, silent, waiting, then click. The door unlocked with a hiss. She stepped out. The hallway was full of smoke. She followed the sound of breathing, slow, painful, human. She found her mother and the man lying on the ground. Mama? The woman looked up. It's okay, baby. We're still here. Hours passed. The storm outside moved on. The smoke cleared. The fire died. And then? Silence. Real silence. Later, the woman stood at the control panel, staring at the static on the main screen. She pressed buttons, flipped switches. Nothing worked. He said there was a distress system, she whispered. Where is it? She slammed her hand against the panel. A hidden drawer slid open. Inside, an old radio, covered in dust, but still intact. She pulled it out and turned the dial slowly. Most frequencies were dead. Static, whispers, nothing real, until click. A voice, broken, but real. Repeat, haven't seen life signs in over 2 months. Colony 3 still holding, food low. Transmit if alive. The woman froze. Colony 3. Survivors, she screamed into the mic. This is Bunker 9. We're alive. We have a child, 1 injured adult. Please respond. Silence. Then. The voice again. Signal received. Coordinates locked. We're coming. The man woke up an hour later. Weak, pale, but awake. He saw her sitting near the radio. Eyes wet, a smile on her face. You found it, he said, voice hoarse. She nodded. There's a colony. People. A real one. They're coming. He looked at her for a long moment, then whispered, Told you I wasn't the last. For the first time in weeks, they ate together without fear. The girl laughed. The woman cried. The man sat quietly, watching them. You saved us, the woman said. Shook his head. You saved me. That night, he sat alone in the machine room. He stared at the glowing orb, the same one that had once warned of death. Now it pulsed slowly, alive, quiet, almost peaceful. He reached into a small case and pulled out something long and sharp. A dog tag, his old name. His old rank. He stared at it for a long time, then threw it into the fire. In the morning, the radio buzzed again. Colony transport arriving in 3 hours. Prepare for pickup. The girl jumped and clapped. We're leaving? She asked. The woman smiled. We're going somewhere safe. Then she looked at the man. You're coming with us, right? He didn't answer right away. I'm not who I used to be, he said. They may not want me. The woman stepped closer. We want you. He looked down at the child who was now holding his hand. You said people were afraid of you, she said softly. I was built for war. He replied. She smiled. But you built a home. Outside, the sky was blue for the first time in months. The air still carried smoke, but also something lighter. Hope. The bunker was quiet again. Too quiet. The little girl slept peacefully in the far room, hugging her toy. The woman sat alone in the control room, watching the countdown on the screen. Colony transport arrival. 2 hours. She should have felt happy, relieved, but something wasn't right. The man hadn't spoken since the message came. He had gone silent. She found him in the machine room. The walls were covered in maps, blinking lights and wires that pulsed like veins. He stood shirtless under the cold blue light. Metal ran down his back. His spine wasn't human. Neither was the deep mark carved into his shoulder. Project Iron Ghost. She stared. Frozen. He didn't turn. You weren't supposed to see that, he said quietly. What is that mark? He closed his eyes. It's a name. One they gave me when I stopped being a man. She walked slowly around him, eyes wide, voice soft. You were part of a project? Yes, a secret one. Why? Because they knew the war was lost. He finally turned. His chest was scarred, burns, cuts, wires embedded in his skin. They needed monsters, he said, and I said yes. He walked to a small cabinet and opened a black case. Inside, a chip, thin, silver, cold. This controlled my thoughts, my pain, my anger. He placed it in her hand. I broke it the day I saw what I had become. The woman stood in silence, heart heavy. You never told me. I didn't want her. He looked toward the sleeping child, to see me as a weapon. And me? She asked. I didn't want you to leave. She looked into his eyes, once cold, now tired, human. I've seen men worse than machines, she whispered. You are not one of them. Suddenly, the radio crackled. Colony transport now entering safe zone. Prepare surface beacon. He moved toward the panel, but she stopped him. You're still hiding something, she said. He hesitated, then opened a drawer, took out an old photograph. It showed a young girl, maybe 10. Bright eyes, big smile. She was my daughter, he said. What happened? She was taken during the early raids. They used her to make me obey. His voice broke. She died because I didn't follow orders fast enough. The woman stepped closer. You stayed behind all these years because of guilt? He nodded. I thought saving you both might fix something in me, but it won't. She touched his arm. Double quotes. No, it won't fix the past. But it gave us a future. The child walked in, rubbing her eyes. Are we leaving soon? The man forced a small smile. Yes, we are. Will you come with us? He looked at the woman. Then the girl. Yes, he said softly, if you want me to. We do, the woman replied. The girl ran to him and hugged his leg. You're not a ghost, she said. He blinked hard. No, he whispered. Not anymore. Outside, the sky lit up. A ship hovered over the hills, sleek, human-made, real. The man walked to the bunker door and opened it wide. Fresh air hit his face. First time in years. He closed his eyes and listened. No alarms. No gunfire. Only the soft hum of rescue. But deep underground, behind a locked panel, a light turned red. A code began to blink. Bioweapon designation. O1 location compromised. Activation signal, pending. The ship hovered just above the ruined trees. Its silver wings cut through the sky like hope returning after a long sleep. Inside the bunker, the girl packed her tiny bag, 3 drawings, 1 toy, and a button she found in the man's old coat. Her mother helped her zip it shut. They were almost ready. Almost. But not him. The man stood in the lowest room of the bunker alone. In front of him, the panel blinked red. A quiet voice echoed through the walls. Activation confirmed. Bioweapon. Unit O1 awaken. He stared at the message. He didn't move. Didn't speak. Then, self-destruct sequence armed. Countdown initiated. 20 minutes. He shut his eyes. They had found him after all. The ones who made him. The ones who wanted to erase him, and they didn't care who died with him. He walked up to the control room, quiet, calm. The woman noticed his face. Something had changed. What's wrong? She asked. They've triggered something, he said. They want to destroy this place, with us inside. Her heart skipped. Then we leave, now. He shook his head. No, if we run, they'll track the ship, track her. He looked at the child who stood watching quietly, as if she already knew what he was about to say. The woman grabbed his arm. Double quotes. No, you don't have to do this. Yes, he said gently. I do. I won't let you. He smiled for the first time. Not cold, not tired, warm, real. You already saved me. Let me return the favor. He gave the child a small disc. What's this? She asked. A memory. It has everything: how to fight, how to survive, how to rebuild. Why? Because one day, someone else might need a home like you did. Outside, the ship lowered its ramp. A voice came through the radio. Please board, immediately. Unsafe energy detected underground. The woman stood at the edge of the hatch. The wind blew through her hair. Her daughter stood beside her, but he didn't move. She ran to him. You said you weren't a ghost anymore. He reached up and wiped a tear from her face. I'm not. That's why I can finally let go. She kissed his forehead. Just once, then stepped back. Promise me one thing, she said. Anything. Make it count. He nodded. I will. She and the girl boarded the ship. The hatch closed. The engines roared. The ship rose into the sky. Inside the bunker, the man walked back to the panel. He tore open a wall, pulled out wires, rewired the signal core. He wasn't stopping the explosion. He was redirecting it. Far above, the woman looked out the ship's window. The bunker shrank into the trees. The girl whispered, "Will he come with us later?" The woman held her close. No, baby, he's already gone. And then the sky lit up. A quiet flash, not violent, not angry, beautiful. The explosion didn't rise, it sank. Deep underground, clean, controlled, precise. No fire, no pain, just silence. He had erased the signal, erased the past, and with it, erased the weapon he had been forced to become. Months later, in Colony 3, the girl showed a group of children how to build a water filter from broken tech. My mom says a man taught her how, she said. Where is he now? A boy asked. She smiled. He's part of the ground now. But he's still here. She tapped her chest. Right here. The woman stood by the colony gates, staring at the sky. Hand brushed against something in her coat pocket. His dog tag. But the name had faded. Only one word was still. Clear. Home.